I leave you with this, man. Chase your goals relentlessly and do not compromise. You know what I'm saying? I saw something pretty cool today, and I think it applies to everybody. Everybody has ideas, but I want you to understand some ideas are rented. It's what you're going to do with those ideas that define if they're really for you.
My success, it ain't random. Float on the scene like a phantom. You and I should be on one accord, together one hell of a tandem. I done cut ties to take it this high, high. The top is my spot, no questioning why. Took some L's like a champ, I just keep finding wins cause I'm really inspired.
Content on your podcast, like fresh new content. He was like, never stop reading. He's like, and if you're not reading consistently, start reading more consistently.
Yo, that makes sense. That's a gem. That's a gem. So we're bound for that one. That was fire. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Hey, Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me.
Bro, we hear you loud and clear, man.
We said, I don't know, we got to figure something out because the roadcaster was tripping, but I just put my AirPods in, so we ain't like playing.
No, not the roadcaster, bro. You know
I'm not exactly sure. Probably because like I was trying to do it on this iPad, but it's not mine, so it's a little weird how I got to do it. But I mean, I was sounding crispy and everything, but I'm gonna act like I'm talking to the mic, but really, you know. Really, we just having some technical difficulties, but it's all good. I've been having those past couple of weeks.
You been having issues the past couple of weeks?
Not with the roadcaster, like with the Mevo cameras, because they're wireless here. And I had just bought a Canon M50, so I got it set up on my phone so I can navigate it on my phone. But sometimes the Wi-Fi be tripping, so it won't catch the camera. And like in the middle of us recording, it'll kind of cut off. So it did it a couple times, and the Wi-Fi be kind of tripping. So, but I started recording with my own camera and getting all that stuff going. So it's all good. He had to get another roadcaster in the other room. So he got a roadcaster in the one that we use. Because I had some audio issues with that like a few weeks ago. But other than that, everything's straight.
Bad. Okay, so I did a test. I checked it out. Everything should sound straight. All y'all look good. I'm about to switch it up real quick. Yeah, Dre. I mean, it's not bad, dog. It's
no,
really
I got you.
You don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I'm gonna keep it like that just because it just looked crazy.
It just looked better. And my man Dre, I got you. And it don't look bad, dog. You ain't got to worry about you looking crazy on camera. Y'all actually should be able to see the feed of what y'all look like with all these borders and Yo, I like how he keep grabbing the hair, making sure the hair is crispy. But let's go ahead and just give it like this. So obviously, my boy Supa Dre, we connected back in Dallas. You know what I mean? Shout out to him and Hello Studios. I appreciate that still, bro. For real. And
that was dope.
It was, bro. We got to do it again. We actually have to do it again.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? And then I reached out to my boy Dre. I've been watching. I tap in to his lives every now and then when I'm not like doing something, because I be up in here a lot, dog. And I just like how I like what he's doing over there. I like his perspective, and I was like, bro, I gotta get him on the pod. It worked out that he was available tonight, and you know I've been trying to connect with you, my boy. So yeah, bro. So let's get it. Let's start this real quick.
Two Dre's in the pod.
You feel me? All right. And we've been recording the whole time, so I mean we ain't lost no footage or nothing. All right, so I always like to shake off my nerves. Do y'all get nervous when y'all pod? Y'all get hype when y'all pod,
yeah.
bro? You know what I'm saying?
I get hype. I get mumble mouth. I just be too excited. I be having to slow it down a little bit.
You feel me? All right. So I'm gonna turn y'all all the way up. So interview volume is up. Sound effects volume is at 75. And let's go around 80. Okay. And bring this back. There we go. Nice. Okay. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you at this time just giving blessings and thanks. I pray that you use these words, these conversations to enlighten, to inspire. And you already know what I like to say, baby. Most importantly, impact. Let's go! Man, Success Ain't Random Podcast, man. What's good, y'all? Back again with another one, bro. Back again with another one. I hope y'all like the reverb. I've been working on this for a long time, but let's cut it off real quick. Yo, today I am joined with two awesome gentlemen, and we about to drop some gems for y'all tonight, man. Let me turn this down real quick. I got my boy from the Supa Dre Podcast, the one and only Supa Dre.
Everybody? What's up?
What's good? Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? I got my boy. We got two Dre's in the building tonight, y'all. From the BBQ Talk Podcast, man. Give it up for my boy, Dre. You know what I mean? What's the deal, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Man, I'm feeling amazing.
Man, that's good. That's
feeling
good.
Blessed, man. Feeling blessed.
Yo, two brothers that I could honestly say outwork me, okay? Like, legitimately. This man is always on live.
I don't know, man.
Nah.
I don't know, man. Dre, you be killing it.
What?
You be selling yourself short, man. You be putting in some work, man. I'm telling you.
On the back end, I can say that, on the back end, but, man, on the
I don't care what
forefront.
you're talking about. You be putting in some work.
Man, you feel me, man. I appreciate that.
Quality over quantity, always.
Well, I tried to, man. I figured putting a lot of work into quality hides my little insecurity about it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, we here again, back in the forum. Success Ain't Random Podcast, man. Yo, it feels good to be back. I took a hiatus just to kind of get this whole virtual thing straight, because I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Supa Dre over here, dog. We more of the in-person type cats. My man Bart in BBQ Talk Podcast, he over here killing it with the lives, bro. Like, I feel like you go live like every single night.
Yeah, 6 days a week.
Yo. I gotta ask you a question. How do you find the time to do that? Like, seriously.
I make the time, really. I just figure that I have so much time to do everything else. So I'm like, how much time does it really like take away from everything else that I have going on? Just to go ahead and do this and do that real quick. And I've also built and created a formula for myself to just keep like all of the artwork and the graphics that I do for it. I just keep it simple. I keep what I say on the little intro simple. Mm-hmm. And then I just find a good time where everybody's getting off work and about to lay down or already laying down, which is between 8:30 and 9:30 at night.
Keep it simple, man. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That man just dropped the gem for y'all right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that formula on how to create that content. I do peep that, though. Like, honestly, like, when I go to your page, I'll see, like, you're really consistent, like, with all of the layout of everything. And that's right. I guess when you have the systems in place, you know what I'm saying? It makes it so much easier to just bang out the content, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Now, on the flip side, Dre, this man has a back catalog of podcasts that's like ridiculous, bro. Like, literally, bro. Like, I don't. Too many. I wish. I wish, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, it's one of them things where like what Dre was talking about, man. Like, you make the time, you find the time. If it's truly important to you, you're gonna sit there and like put in some of that work. So me being able to move the way that I can move, be able to produce some like a lot of this content, you know, I'm getting it. I'm getting it through the ears. I'm getting it visually. I'm getting it in photos. You know what I'm saying? So, and content is king. Content is super important in this day and age, man. So if y'all don't realize how important content is, have a back catalog, dude, you can be able to repurpose that type of stuff. You ain't got to ever worry about what you need to post on Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, man. You already got it, and all you got to do is just re-put it out, repurpose. So that's what I got for you right there. But it's all in a day's work, and it's just execution, man. It's just execution.
Man. Bruh. Like, okay. Yo, wait, hold on, wait. Shout out to that. That's exactly what Nikki was saying. Yo, shout out, this is Nikki. You know what I mean?
That's for her right there.
Drop her air horns real quick. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 students right here. You feel me? Man, she was saying that, like, find the easiest way to kind of put your content out, stay consistent, and if you have to, repurpose it. And it's crazy because that back catalog thing, bro, it's phenomenal. And just to keep it, having systems in place to be able to put the content out on a regular basis is incredible. So you got, like, literally two content kings right here dropping gems for y'all. But nevertheless, we got to get into it. The last 2 episodes actually, we got into a little conversation about just taking that shot, holding yourself accountable, you know what I'm saying, going for what you want. And today I want to talk with y'all. Oh, man. About the process. Ooh. Falling in love with the process. Yo, everybody and their mama, when they found out that I was doing a podcast, said at one point or another they wanted to do a podcast. Now, you've never told me this before, and maybe I'm exaggerating. It wasn't everybody and their mama, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Like, oh, man, I thought about doing a podcast, man. Like what software you use? What mics do you use? What camera do you use? How do you shoot it? How do you edit? How did you get to like, yo, it was nuts. After a while, like I got overran with it, and I was just like, yo, man, Google and YouTube, right? One of the main things I want to touch on in this conversation is the process. All of what you see right here, I'm having a good time now, you know what I'm saying? But at one point, it was not like this, bro. Like it was a huge learning curve. You feel me? And I'm assuming that you guys both can attest to that. So what I want to go through with y'all is the process of whatever it is you got going on. For you, Dre, BBQ Talk, I want to know what got you first thinking, yo, this I'm gonna do this, and deciding that you're going to go the live route versus just recording and shooting video like that?
Okay. First off, shout out to David Shands with the Launch Podcast Challenge, because when he talked about going live every day, he was like, don't miss a day. He's like, don't take strategic time off. He was like, and go live every day. I was thinking to myself, I was like, why would I want to go live every day? That's going to be a lot, right? And then how am I going to keep the quality up if I go live every day? But when I thought about it, I have something to talk about every day. We all have something to talk about every day, especially if you're allowing yourself to live life freely, right? But then he also stated something to build value. So I was like, oh, go live every day to build the value, because you're going to create value as you're going live consistently. Plus, everybody's going to see you consistently. So I thought about this. From Lil Wayne, he said that nobody wanted to listen to Drake when he first came out. Every radio station and everybody was denying Drake's music. And he was like, you know what? That's cool. He knew he had something with Drake. He seen the potential in Drake. So what he did was he said that I'm going to push Drake onto everybody as much as I can. I'm going to put him in your face so much that it's going to get to a point in time where you have no point and you're gonna have no choice but to want to play Drake and start to like him. So I was just like, hey, let's just take that route from Lil Wayne and just do it for myself though.
Yeah, man, facts, bro. Look, there's an artist that I'm quite partial to. Currency the Hospital. You already know I'm gonna drop one from Currency the Hospital. Yo, he did this thing. How he's an underground rapper still, but I don't know. Are y'all familiar with him? Currency?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Spitter, that's my guy. Right. Yo, he did this thing like a while back where he dropped a mixtape a month for like a year straight. It was just a mixtape. And I mean, I'm talking about like 20 to 15 songs. Mixtape. He was hopping on people's beats. He was original beats with Harry Fraud, you know what I'm saying? But it was like a thing that he did. And that was his philosophy. His philosophy was, like, you got these rap blogs, right? That's talking about all the sneakers and streetwear. And to be completely real with you, he said that in the interview, he went at it from a space of, I'm broke, but I know I got talent. Let me just drop a mixtape a month, stay in their face. And if at least I know at some point I could do shows, and a lot of these streetwear and sneaker vendors are going to see me mentioned in the same magazines and blogs that they are, so I could get some free stuff. So it was like the best play because it worked perfectly. And now till this day, he's like cemented in time as one of the greats, especially at least from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that philosophy is like great. That's like brilliant. Man, I just get blown away at how many times I see you on live. So I'm like, dog, how does he, like, I'm a father, I'm married, I work full time, all that, and I'm in school full time. So in my mind, I'm like, bro, I know this man is busy. It's amazing how he finds the time to do this, right? You know what I'm saying? Dre, I want to bring this to you over there at the Supa Dre camp. You, my friend, do pretty much the same thing except on an in-person scale, right? Like you have a backlog of like podcasts, but at the same time, like you're not stopping. You're still putting out content. You're putting out reels. Like I get blown away at how much you work. So tell me how you were able to structure that, because I know you have your own thing going on with working full time, and you're also pursuing your thing in real estate. So like, how do you find the time and just manage it all?
Man, just really like just being truthful with yourself and like, okay, where can I really fit this time in? For me, like I don't have any kids. I don't like I said, I move a lot differently than most people. So I just honestly just structured around my work. I structured around my life, my lifestyle, and things like that. And it's different for me. It's just a lot easier for me to do that. But I literally, and you probably seen it, be like I got a Google Calendar. I got literally set up on every hour on the hour what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm trying to at least stay about 80% accurate on that schedule every single day, so that way I can hit certain marks and I can be able to do certain things every day. So I need to be able to record this and be able to have it ready to go next week at this time. I need to be able to work on the content at this time. So I just pretty much structure everything based around whatever lifestyle you got, just base it around that and create a schedule. Like, get on a schedule. Like, literally, you need to be knowing what you're doing every hour on the hour, even if that's eating, even if that's just going to the restroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally put that in my schedule. So I really feel like scheduling has put me in different stratosphere when it comes to creating content. Because, like you said, I have so much content in catalog. I probably haven't used 50% of the catalog that I have, because I have so much work to do, even with the stuff I've already put out. We've already talked about repurposing. My episodes are already about 45 minutes to an hour, so that's a lot of that's a lot of content that
you there?
Oh, did I cut out? I didn't know if I cut out or something like that. Yeah, I didn't know if I cut out or something. Oh man,
good.
But just being able to create a calendar, create a schedule, and knowing what you're doing. Because if you saying like, hey, I'm a record on Wednesdays, and I might record next week, but we'll see. You probably won't record. You probably won't record next week. You want to know why? Because you didn't write it down, and it's not in your schedule to even be thought about being done. So scheduling is just really important for me, and that's the way that I'm able to keep most of my content where it is today.
Yo, hey, that makes sense, bro. Drop one of the bombs for him, bro. Hey, and speaking of getting it wrong and knowing what you're doing, I literally realized that like I had went through a whole spiel and like wasn't recording myself. Like I was on mute. I was like, yo, why my levels not? Oh, it's muted. You know what I mean? It was not having it. You feel me? It's still a learning process. But you know, we gonna keep it rolling. We gonna keep it going. It's funny that you were talking about a schedule because literally when I hit you up, I gotta distinguish the two of y'all between the two. When I hit you up, barbecue. Literally, he was coming out the gym. Like, he was in the gym with it. He was like, yo, man, let me hit you up after I step out. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, mind you, he gave me an option. He was like, yo, you got a short amount of time or are you kind of flexible? I'm like, whatever you need, dog. I'm not trying to mess up the gains. You feel me? But nah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Look.
Yeah.
So, a few nights ago, I did a podcast basically talking about a young lady that I met from This Is Nikki. If you saw the reel, you know who I'm talking about. She's a friend of the pod, you know what I'm saying? And you know, she might be coming on. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna speak on those things just yet. A young boss killing it. And I know my boy Dre was in that live, you feel me, whenever all this was going on. And I was blown away, bro. It's crazy how you can gain so much from one individual and one interaction, right? One thing that I realized about her, outside of the fact that she was super diligent about what she wanted, she didn't skip any beats. She was really thorough with what she was trying to get done. And that's what brought me to talking about the process and falling in love with the process. A lot of times, and I'm pretty sure y'all can relate, after you've started putting out content, you've met tons of people, whether they are content creators, podcasters, in music, wanting to start a business, whatever, come to you and talk about their dreams. Like, oh, I want to do X, Y, Z. But when you ask them exactly what have you done to get to that point, you literally hear crickets. You know what I mean? And I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people, they want the glitz and the glam that comes after all of the hard work, but they don't really want to go through the process, right? But the crazy part about it is that process is when you learn a lot of different things. Recently, I was watching not a live, but a inspirational video from Anki Johnson. I don't know if y'all follow him. He's a part of ET's whole camp. And at the end of it, he said something pretty interesting. He said through his whole process of like knowing he wanted to go play professional football from a young age, right? There was a few things that he discovered. And it was only going through that process of trying to reach that goal that those things were discovered. It was his how, his why, and his what. You know what I mean? And I want to chop it up with y'all about that real quick. So, you know what I mean? I want to ask y'all a question. How important is the process for real?
1,000% important. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to get to where you need to be without the process.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the process is AKA low key the grind.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't want to do that, and a lot of people don't even know what the process is or what their process is, or don't want to create a process.
They don't want to do the research.
The process is, they don't want to do the research. So you might as well stop doing what you need to do right now. You might as well stop right now if you're not trying to be in that process. We all in the process right now.
Yeah, facts. You know what I mean? Like, it blows me away how like people will say all day what they want, but you ain't even like don't tell me you want to record something. You ain't even grabbed your phone. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me you want to start a t-shirt business. You ain't even, who you gonna print through? They got whole companies that'll do print on demand for you. You ain't even gotta pay for the clothing up front. You could just let it just sit there until somebody makes a purchase. And it just blows me away. One of the things that I've come to is the first part is people don't really know what they want. Like, that process is, when you're in the process, the vision becomes way more clear. You know what I mean? Like, I know for myself, right? I started the podcast saying that I wanted to make an impact. I had an idea of how I wanted to make money already. So the money was never the thing for me. One thing that I always realized, though, is that I didn't feel comfortable, and I think we talked about this on the phone, BBQ, that I didn't feel comfortable having bread if the people that was around me was still struggling. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what led me to want to do this. Even though that I'm living an okay life, you know, my wife, my daughter, we, you know, middle class life, but I still have family members. I got cousins that's coming up that's still trying to figure it out. And I wanted to give them something that they could look to and be like, all right, let me see how he moving, let me see how he rocking, and how can I apply it to my own personal situation? You feel what I'm saying? So for me, it was easy to kind of go forward with what I was doing. I mean, after I got over the nerves and everything. But for most people, they don't really know fully what they want. I feel like the clearer the vision is, the easier it is to take that first step. You know what I'm saying? For you, BBQ, you like you said, you started off every single day, you have something new to talk about. You don't stop living, so you always have a new subject or something new that you've learned. What I want to know is, what was that first thing? Because like you said, you wanted to make an impact, give value. What was that first thing that made you say, man, they need me in this marketplace?
The first thing was the climate of social media and the current times that we're living in.
Yeah.
So when I even got the notion that I wanted to do a podcast, it was right in the midst of the pandemic with the coronavirus. And I was noticing something because I was having these conversations about things that were going on my actual regular Facebook page that I had before I actually restarted my Facebook page. And I just remember a lot of people being very angry and lashing out, like verbally on social media, lashing out at me and even other people, but particularly me, because I was looking at the whole situation from a positive perspective. I was seeing the silver lining, but I was also, and I've always lived in a realistic place. So I was coming at it from a realistic place and a humanistic place as well. So those two combined, I think in this day and age, they don't mix well with people because they don't like it. And the reason why they don't like it is because most of us didn't grow up in environments where anybody was being humanistic. They may have been being realistic, but not humanistic. And everybody's realistic to everybody else. But how real are you to yourself, you know? And one incident that really, it wasn't the inspiration behind the podcast, but it was like when I got the inspiration for the podcast, that just stayed in the back of my mind, and it stays in the back of my mind even to this day. I had an individual, two individuals who were talking about the incident in Kentucky with Breonna Taylor. Yeah. And, you know, they were like, somebody stated, well, all of y'all could just go ahead and burn down the city of Kentucky. Go ahead and burn down the city of Louisville. Like, just burn it up, tear it up. And I was just like, and I wrote back and I told someone, I said, as she was a mother, I said, you got to be worried about what words you're using and what message you're pushing out. I said, because there's a young individual out there that looks just like you, that looks just like your kids, with the same skin color and everything, and you're pretty much throwing them in the fire. And they maybe listen to your command, even though you're not a commander in nobody's army. But in this fight, they may look at you like a commander and take your words and go for it. And then there was actually somebody in the military who pretty much surprised me on the way that they responded back to me and what I said to this young woman. And then we were in the DMs and we were going back and forth.
What'd they say?
It was just the knowing that there's positivity missing in the world right now.
Yeah,
too much.
Man. That's a different subject, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I talk about that with my wife all the time. If you want to get biblical with it, we know what time it is. We know what time it is. You know what I mean? That's no hiding that. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's facts. I know for me, even with I think it was what was going on at the time. George Floyd.
Yeah.
Working at the hospital after the murder of George Floyd, man, like a lot of people's opinions came out. A lot of people felt comfortable sharing their opinions, and you could tell there was no empathy. That's a trait that I think us as human beings, we have the gift of empathy, and we just don't use it as much as we should. Sure. Right? And I want to speak to something that you said just now. You got to understand, like, the influence you have. Even if you're not on a grand stage, and I think that's what you was trying to get across to this lady. Even if you're not on a grand stage, as like us, like we're content creators, you got to think about it. There's a vast amount of people out there with social media profiles that got like 100 people that follow them, 200 people that follow them. You know what I'm saying? Having a K is just ridiculous to some people, and you know what I mean. But you don't know how much influence you have over someone. You know what I mean? Just that person could be like could look up to you in the best way. And if you're telling them to go do something like that, you got to be real mindful about the influence. You know what I mean? I was talking about this the other day. You know, there's a responsibility that comes with being in a certain position and having influence. And I think in that moment in time, just with the George Floyds, the Breonna Taylors, a lot of us weren't being mindful as to that responsibility that we have. You know what I mean? With just the people that look up to us. But yeah, man, it's a touchy subject talking about that, because I still have my own personal feelings with it. And yeah, I don't want to get emotional about it.
If you want me to be honest real quick,
mm-hmm.
and you just said the one word that I use in this phrase is that it's emotional manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And we allow ourselves to become emotionally manipulated very easily because of the history, the dark histories of, especially of America, right?
Yeah,
especially
facts.
of America, of people of color. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize it that, you know, like I'm Hispanic and Black. Not people know that, especially if they see me. It's okay. But I'm saying that there's a lot of people in the melanated community who aren't aware that Hispanics have it just as bad, if not worse at times. You know, when I when I came to San Antonio, Texas back in the end of 2018, coming up in 2019,
mm-hmm.
It was like I was looking into San Antonio to see what was going on, and there was something that came across that was just like, when are we gonna end our Mexican brothers and sisters being locked away in cages and nobody saying anything about it? And I was like, what are they talking about? And I looked into it, and in El Paso there are what they quote unquote call illegal immigrants locked up in cages, and that bothered me, right? And it's not because I'm
Excuse me? Wait, what?
Exactly, right? It bothered me because this is like they're considered illegal when, and this is a whole different conversation, but they're a part of us, you know, and they're a part of humanity. But they come over here, and you know, it's just a struggle. So there's a lot of things that in America can bother a lot of people, you know, and like my whole overall real reason was that I know there's a lot of people out here with mental health issues. I got family members who have mental health issues and have developed mental health issues throughout this time, and even before this have battled with it. So I was also asking myself, like, who's making positive content out there for those? Like that's really talking to those and really giving real people a voice, not just like celebrities or people that have a lot of following, like people that people don't really think about. Your local everyday tattoo artist, your local chef, your herbalist student, or the spiritual person over here, or just a woman that's trying to raise her family and take care of her family. You know what I mean? Single mothers, single fathers, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Dre, you look like when he was talking, there was something brewing up there, bro. Like you had something you wanted to say to that? Because I mean, I was watching you and on the screen. He was just like, wait, he sat up close.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, oh no, I didn't have nothing, man. I'm just, man, that's just some great stuff y'all spitting over there, man. Like it's, like you said, that's another topic for another day, man. But like,
Yeah.
just being humans, man. Just being able to remember that everybody's a human being, and like I feel like throughout the past couple of years, like we kind of missed that. We just don't really give a crap right now. You know, we just don't really care right now. And it don't matter who you are, where you come from, what you're talking about. You know, we just always forget that we're human, man. So that's it. That's the crazy thing that just kind of shocked me out of all this stuff, man.
Yeah, man, it's tough, and I, like having a 3-year-old, bro. Like, I'm gonna say something. Maybe I might be being a little too transparent, but I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble for this. We live in, I wouldn't say, we live in a pretty mixed neighborhood, right? My daughter goes to like a Mother's Day Out program type situation at a church, and she loves it. She absolutely loves going, right? But she also goes to a daycare. She goes to a daycare that she doesn't really like too much. You know what I mean? And it's funny, when she started going to that daycare, you know, all of a sudden she started coming home. And one day I think I was changing her diaper. This is how young she is, because she's, you know, she just started being able to go to the bathroom by herself. She says, "Daddy, you're black like me." And I'm like, yo, wait, what? You black like me. Mommy not black like me. You know what I mean? Like my big mama not black like me. My wife is Creole. So she's mixed with everything underneath the sun. And her parents are, yeah, bro. It's yeah, man. Like, we from Louisiana, so you already know what it is. You already know what it is, man. Hey, man. Shout out to my baby. You know what I'm saying? Heaven sent. You feel me? But yeah, man, that threw me off. And for my girl, like, she was saying, mommy not black like me and you. Now my daughter is 3. When we were having these conversations, she was probably 2. Now you got a 2-year-old. We still till this day don't know where that came from. Talking about her color. I can remember a time whenever I was a kid, and I'm not talking about 2 and 3. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8. Bro, my best friend was white. His name was Kyle. We played with Power Rangers, and his parents took me to hockey games. Like, yeah, we didn't see color. So to say that these kids are growing up right now, like, a 2-year-old talking about, daddy, you're black like me, because my daughter is she's lighter than me, but she's still, you know, dark skinned. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And it really speaks to, like, what you were talking about. There's a lot, people really don't know how to be human anymore. There's just some things that we need to let go of. Don't get me wrong. I honestly feel, as an African American, we all got some form of PTSD. Like, there's no reason in the world I should be driving, and I get that this definitely took a turn for what we were talking about, but it needs to be said. There's no reason why we should be driving down the road, and if I see a police officer hanging out, just kind of parked on the side, my anxiety goes up. That should not happen. And I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. Like, I have not had the worst relationship with cops. I haven't. And keeping it real with you, that's because of who my father was and where I was located at, or what I was doing at the time. When I was out, I played sports. So if you saw me and I lived in a small town, Sulphur, Louisiana, oh, you played for Sulphur High. You're not doing anything to me. Plus, I wasn't really doing nothing at that time anyway. I'm a freshman in high school, right? But I had friends that did have to worry about that. They might have not lived in the best neighborhood in Sulphur, Louisiana. And
they boogie moms.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you know. But it's sad that we got to go through that, and I don't know. I don't want to stay too long on the subject. I really don't. You know what I mean? Because people are gonna be like, oh man, here they go. But I'm gonna say this. I had a conversation with someone. I ain't gonna say her name, but I work with her, and this was around the time of the George Floyd situation, right? And it's me, another African American. We're in a break room, and it's me and another African American, and it's like four Caucasian individuals. No, 2 Caucasian and actually 2 Hispanic individuals, because it's Houston. we're a big mixing we're a big mixing pot here, right? And the news coverage is all over, so we're talking about it, and there was a realization that came up. Sometimes people are just not tuned in. Like, we complain about what we deal with. We see racism all the time. We see injustice all the time. We see our people getting treated wrong all the time. But I could keep it real with you. I don't know when Taylor Swift's dropping. I have no clue when Taylor Swift is dropping. Like, I couldn't tell you the last album she dropped. I don't know anything. And you got to think about it. The algorithms are set up to show you what you're going to gravitate toward. So they're not going to show me that. And so I'm pretty sure that my white brothers and sisters, they don't see what I see on the internet. They don't. They're just not even aware. Granted, not being aware does not excuse you from whenever it's brought to your attention to not make the right decision, because now you are accountable. You know what I'm saying? You can't say ignorant. You can't say you're ignorant to it anymore. It's in your face. But at that moment in time, a lot of people they're just not tuned in. The issue that we have as a society, and I'm gonna get off my high horse, I'm gonna get off rambling, is sometimes we think too zoomed in. We think way too zoomed in. You're only focused with what's in your immediate circle, not realizing that there's a world way bigger than you and issues way more than you. I feel like if more people did that, more people thought that way, you would walk around with empathy all the time. You literally would walk around with empathy, and you would appreciate what you have. I could be wrong, I could be tripping, but I really do feel like that's what we're missing, and I don't want to bore y'all with that, so I'm gonna drop a bomb with it, and yeah, man.
But that's a part of the process.
Give myself some love.
Yeah. That's a part of the process.
Yeah.
It's a part of the life process. Process, really. You know what I mean? It's okay. I just feel like as a society and as a world, we have to become more comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. And it not be met with, well, you're offending me, or I'm taking offense to it, more so of, hey, understand my side of it. But it's also a thing that more people should want to understand more than be understood. Because when someone else is understanding them, it's easier for them to want to understand you at that point.
Wait a minute. Run that back real quick. Wait. Run that back. People need to be what?
People need to be more understanding than trying to be understood all the time.
There it is. I'm getting hot. With this conversation. Throw the hat to the back.
Well, took the hat out.
We cooking. You feel me? We cooking. Man, bruh.
Look, that all, like you said, that all go back to the process, man. Like, just understand the next person. We all see things. We all gonna see the same information. We can all get the same information in the same room, but we all gonna perceive it differently. And that's been my goal this year, is just be able to see things from a different perspective. I think that's one of my superpowers, to be able to see things from multiple angles, and being able to be like, oh, okay, well, let me actually see what they're talking about, because he's actually not black, or he's actually not this, or we didn't grow up in this way. So let me actually kind of see and not worry about my issues for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go ahead and see what they're talking about, because it's always a side. There's always two sides to any solution, any problem, anything like that. And we're always so worried about already saying what we was thinking. We can't wait till the person get through talking so we can go ahead and say what we need to say. and we don't give a crap about what they said. But when we learn, no, we don't, dude. You can be saying a whole monologue, and then as soon as you get done, you could have made a compelling argument, but you was like, yep, go ahead and shut up, so I can go ahead and say I was gonna say this anyway. And I'm gonna say it, you know what I'm saying? So we just need to be able to literally understand that next person in many perspectives, man. And that's also missing like that's for me that's a part of the process. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to understand things in different perspectives, because you can't keep living the same way. Things are ever changing.
You got to be open-minded.
Nothing's gonna stay the same. Yeah, you got to be open-minded, and you got to be able to have all options on the table. You know, regardless if it's stupid or not. You know, we just missing that piece in our process, in our everyday process.
Man, y'all. Okay, so. Yo, hey.
Dropping atomic bombs.
Bruh, okay, so look, shout out to the bombs. It's my bomb. Nikki got air horns. This is me. It was DJ Clues, but now it's me. Okay, so I'm claiming it. If you get a bomb on your show, just say I'm gonna drop one of these bombs real quick, and that's all I ask. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna call it the atomic bomb.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, you gotta put my name in there, bro. You got to. I brought it to the game. You feel me? Just like we got Air Jordan. You know what I mean? We got V's bombs. You know what I'm saying?
Got the V bomb.
Got the V bomb. You dig? I don't even know how good that sounds. Actually, it sounds kind of weird.
Hashtag it. Go ahead
hashtag
and
V-bomb.
I'm hashtagging. Hashtag V-bomb, y'all.
I ain't even gonna lie, bro. That sounds like something that has nothing to do with podcasting. You know what I mean? So, anyway, yo, this took a turn. I'm not gonna lie. This took a turn. This took a turn, but I think it was necessary. In the midst of this conversation, you guys literally pointed out all three characteristics that I was going to touch on. You know what I mean? In the process, you have your why, you have your how, and you have your what, right? That what is the vision? What is the vision? What is the goal? If we want more unity and understanding, we got to see things from other people's perspectives. We got to be more open-minded, and we got to communicate. You know what I'm saying? And we can't be so self-centered. We have to be a little bit more zoomed out to be able to see what's going on with everybody. I think that same thing applies to whatever it is you're trying to pursue. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's starting a business, creating content, being an artist, like you have to have a clear vision of what it is you want. Because here's the thing, I think people I don't want to cuss, but I think people half-ass what their vision is. Because you see, I'm gonna do shows. Okay, well, how long you gonna stay in the studio? Oh, about an hour. Nah, bro, you gotta live in the studio. You gotta live in the studio. Most of these rappers start off with studios in their closet. Like, you can't just say you want to be in the studio an hour every other day. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we got an artist. I don't know if he still make music, so I don't want to put you out there like that. You feel me? But yeah, when you was making music, I'm sure you was like in the studio. You was putting stuff out all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, my thing was when I was doing music, I was at high school going into college. Mm-hmm. And my last year, I would say I had got signed to a local label in Florida, Pensacola, Florida, and I was always in the studio. I was always trying to get to the studio all the time after school. And then once I transitioned from school and then going into college, it was after school, after work. Whatever the case may be, I was always there. But I was always noticing that I was around a lot of people, and I didn't always like it. But then something went south, that went downhill. And then I was actually in my home, in my bedroom, in my mom's house, in the closet with the keyboard by myself.
You feel me?
The whole pad and everything, and I'd be in there for hours and hours. I mean, to the point where there was times that I would stay up so long that I would look at the clock, or I would look outside and the sun is starting to rise, and I'm like, I gotta go to school. Like I got class at I got class at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yo,
it's 4:30 in the morning.
He was not just for reference. If y'all want to know the part of the story, he's not going to say, there was no learning being done on those days. Okay, like he he was completely checked out.
Facts. That's 100% though. Like I was rushing papers. I was rushing homework at times. Or what it was that I was very strategic on it. That I would do my homework like before work. So I would get home and I would start doing my homework, and then I go to work, and then I come home, and then I'm like, all the studio time is there. But yeah, there was not a lot of studying, right? But then I had to start factoring that in.
Yeah.
But the thing that I learned was that just like with podcasting, just like with music, and I take the music approach with podcasting is that when you're living life and you're going through life and you're observing, and I'm an observer of life, it's like you have something then that fuels your music. You're not just going in there just talking about anything. Ooh. You have fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You always like that's funny. So you basically took what you already innately did from music and applied it to what you got going on now with podcasting. And
yes, sir.
That's crazy, bro. Like, since you said that, like, I guess I kind of did the same thing. I mean, because initially I can relate with you, not so much I wasn't doing this in high school, but in my early 20s bachelor, like I used to customize shoes. And at the time, like I'm a big sneakerhead. You may not be able to see it in the background, but we lost Dre for a second, y'all. It's okay. You may not be able to see it in the background, but I'm like, I just look. I'll give y'all a little sample. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a big sneakerhead, and it was a time where Nike wasn't really coming out with nothing that I wanted, and literally, bro, I started customizing shoes, and I can relate. Like I would get off work from the casino, come home, go in my room. The homies might be going out partying, whatever, and I'd work on a shoe. I wouldn't stop until I could see that at least one of the shoes done. And that means I'm probably painting from the time that I got off work all the way till the sun comes up, right? And it was okay for me. There was many days I would walk out of the house just to get that picture of the shoe sitting on the back of my car with that golden hour sunlight hitting it. You feel me? But when I think about podcasting, it's funny. Like my lower thirds, my intro, like the whole aesthetic of everything that I drop, it kind of comes from that same place. It's like I visually see it a certain way, and I'm not comfortable until I'm like, yes, this is what I saw in my head. You know what I mean? But that speaks to the passion, though. And I think that's one key thing when it comes to the process. That visualization of what you see the final product to be is going to pull from things that you innately know how to do. You are an observer. Making music, you have to observe. You have to be able to do those things. And if you want to have those tough conversations and be able to really relate to people in life with those conversations, you have to be an observer. With me, I want the experience to be clean. I want things to look nice and come in the right? So what I took from graphic design, having a clothing brand, and what I took from customizing shoes, I put it to this. I'm curious to know, Dre, what's your thing? You know what I mean?
Dre.
Man, look, I had some technical difficulties. I was halfway in there, halfway out. I had somebody call me. They put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I was like, oh no, we out of there. We out of there. Run it by me one more time. I caught the tail end.
It's all good.
Basically, what I got out of there is being able to, like, y'all use some of y'all old skills from Dre, you doing music, and V, you doing when you had your clothing line, you using those same processes, those same skills into podcasting is pretty much. Yeah, man. Like same thing, Dre. Like I did music, I produced my own music, and and was in that lane. I was in acting and theater and stuff like that. So I took a lot of that creativity, a lot of those creative approaches when it came to me creating a podcast, when it came to me strategically putting things out and kind of structuring things out that way. Let's say, for instance, like in acting, if you ever heard of improv, if improv is just on the spot, it's not scripted or anything like that. So I use a lot of improv in a lot of the stuff that I do on my podcast, because for one, it's going to feel a lot more organic. Two, I want to be spontaneous, and I don't want to be putting, contained inside a box and things like that. So I use some of those tactics and some of those skills from improv in a lot of my shows. I don't really have topics. I'm really good at going off of everybody and things like that. Even in sports, I bring that competitive edge. Even when it comes to doing podcasting, man, like it's a sport. You want to, you're looking at your analytics. You hearing a fire sound, like you see those trending sounds on IG. It's like, oh, I got to say that. I'm gonna get a bunch of views. I'm gonna get a bunch of views on that reel, boy. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? So bringing that competitive edge to the space, man. Like I think is real important. Real important in the craft and the process, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, okay, so I want to tie it up with a nice little bow from. Okay, people, real quick. Be clear about what you want. Be clear about what you want. The more precise, the clearer that vision is, I guarantee you it's going to be easier to figure out what steps you got to take to get to that vision. And what elements you can pull from the things that you already naturally are good at to get to that goal. It's funny how a lot of times our steps align with the thing that we think about the most, right? And in order to have that clear vision, I'm assuming you have to be processing this a lot, right? So I'm gonna be real with you. I sat down and I just thought about all of the greats. What podcasts do I like? What content creators do I like? What elements I want to take? You know what I mean? All the way from old school radio to Joe Budden podcast to David Shands to Martin with WZAP. You know what I mean? Like you feel what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where clarity is key. And when it comes down to the process, the second thing that you guys touched on is the how. How do we do it? And we talked about just having an overall better society, right? We basically laid down some ideas on how do we get there, right? I'm telling you, this entire conversation didn't go in the sense of branding or content creating, but it touched on a whole deeper topic. But the premise is still the same. You know what I mean? Like everything goes hand in hand. Once that clarity kicks in, you can start to map out your steps. Just like we said, hey, let's look at other people's perspectives, right? Let's actually communicate better. Let's observe what other people got going on. Let's not be so self-centered. Let's be a little bit more open-minded. These things will make society better as a whole. Not just for black people, not just for Hispanics, not just for Asian people, not just for white people, just as a whole, right? And that same principle can be applied to whatever it is you got going on, whatever it is you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Now, I want to touch on, and then we're gonna wrap it. One of the most critical parts of the process, and that's the why. What is your why? I'm gonna zoom in real quick. People, the why is literally your fuel. It's the thing that keeps you up at night. It's the reason why BBQ Talk Dre was in the closet with it until early hours in the morning, putting out the music. While my man Supa Dre said, hey, look, I want to have that back catalog. I want to have quality. I'm looking for the studio. I'm walking from the apartment to the studio, going back to the apartment, going to work, coming back to the house, editing this podcast, setting it up. Hence why this creation room has all of this equipment in it, and I come up here even when I have no one to talk to, just messing with the programs, figuring out, learning the camera, learning the audio. What is your why? The why, and I'm gonna give you a tip real quick. The why cannot be. It has to be bigger than you. It can't just be personal. It has to be bigger than you. When I look at this podcast being successful, I look at someone who used to be like me, a talker, never really put into action, hated what they were in life, wasn't getting the opportunities that they wanted, like on the verge of suicide. Like I looked for that, and I talked to that individual, because for me it was just a decision. One night made a decision that said, "Hey, you know what? I'm tired of living like this. Let's do it a different way." I remember the night vividly, y'all. I literally gave it to God. It was a full moon. Why? Because God wanted to add extra sauce on it, so He made it a full moon that night. But I literally said, "Yo, I'm done. Take it. I don't want it. Whatever you want from me, God. I don't even care. I don't care no more. I don't care no more. I can't do it." And within a few days, maybe 3, my life made a 180. I got brought to that place again at 31, looking at my daughter and how she was growing up. You know what I mean? Looking at where I worked and the things that I wanted to do, but I hadn't even took steps to do it. And then I asked myself, could I live another 10 years not doing it? Y'all want to know something? The answer is yes. I could have. If it was up to me, I could have. But here's the part that made it make sense. I owed it to my kid. I owed it to my wife. I owed it to my family. I owed it to my friends that always had my back. And the people that believed the big talk that I used to give, that I was going to be something, I owed it to them in order to take those steps. And as I started taking those steps, the why got a little bit more wider. The why got wider. Anyway, it got wider. So what is your why? I ain't gonna. Yo, Dre, Supa Dre, tell him what your why is, man. I ain't even. Yeah, man. I'm muting my mic. I'm done.
Look, man. I had the same conversation with my guest today, man. You know, your why ain't gonna push you to where you need to be at. And sometimes, if you don't have a why, that means you need to get a stronger why. My why is the fact that you need a bigger why. You need a bigger why if you don't have one. You need it. You need it. My why is the fact that my mom is still in the same situation that she's been in for how many years, that I'm able to live a comfortable life and do what I need to do, but my family is still in a certain position. You know, like you were saying that earlier, like I live a pretty decent life for myself. I've done pretty well, but I can't sleep at night knowing that my family is still in the situation that they in. So I got to put some work in, because I got to be the person to do that.
You feel
Ain't nobody else gonna come out here and pay my bills. Ain't nobody gonna be up there to wake me up at 6:45 in the morning and be like, "Hey, bro, you getting up?" Nah, you know what's waking me up? My why is waking me up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
bro.
want to be able to own my own 24 hours, and my why is gonna be able to push me to be able to achieve that. My why is so that way that whenever I bring kids into this world, that they're gonna be able to live a great life. I'm gonna be able to show them certain things, and they're not gonna be able to be in a position that I was ever in, because I chose why today. And I was able to achieve what I needed to achieve, and I was a doer, not a thinker. My why is that I can do anything that I want to do with my brain and my mind, and just have faith in myself, and knowing that I'm doing this not for me. I ain't doing this for me. I ain't doing a Supa Dre podcast for me. I ain't trying to make this money. I'm not doing it for me, man. Like you said, it's much bigger than me. This is for my brother, my sister, my grandmother, my mom, my stepdad, my girl. This for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? This for Texas right here. You know what I'm saying? It's for Dallas. It's for Oak Cliff. You know what I'm saying? It's way bigger than me. It's not even about me. I don't even know why it's called Supa Dre. It should be called Super You. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
that's a whole nother conversation.
You know what I'm saying? You just need to have that why, man. Like, and if you don't have a why, you need to look deep down in yourself. You need to have a serious conversation with yourself and have a bigger why. If your why ain't big enough, you need a bigger one. If it ain't big, make it bigger each and every day. Each and every day, you need a why. My why is my family. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let them down. I ain't letting them down.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. All right, man. BBQ Talk, Dre. We coming to you, bro. What's your why?
Yeah, I mean, my why is simple as to put it. Is my me is that.
Hold up. Wait. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty, but yeah, man, Dre, what is your why?
Yeah, my why is simple. I wish that I had a platform like this to listen to when I was going through my dark times. I know many people who went through dark times, suicide attempts, or thoughts of suicide, and some people just.
But yeah, all right. This is like the third try. They don't like this conversation. It's the Illuminati, I'm telling y'all. So come on, man. Leave us alone, bruh. You feel me? Man.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dre, what is your why, bro?
My why is for people who are going through tough times that need a positive space.
Short and sweet and to the point, y'all. Yo, if you watch it, when you watch this, it I can't tell you. Like, how many times did it cut out? Like 3? 3 times. And look, Dre right now, my boy Supa Dre, his mic's muted. he muted himself. Like, how did you mute yourself, cuz? This is when you know it's getting late, people. Yo, we doing this podcast. It is 10:47 where I'm at. I know it means Dre is 10:47 where you at. I don't know or know about you, my man. You said you're located in Florida?
No, we're all in Texas, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You're in San Antonio. Yeah, you're in San Antonio. I'm tripping. So yeah, it's not too late. I don't know. We messing up. We slipping. It's all good, but. Nah, man, that's imperative. Yo, that why is super important. It's the thing that's gonna keep you pushing. It's that thing that's gonna keep you up at night. It's that thing that's gonna make it to where like it hurts if you don't even try. If you don't try, it's gonna hurt. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, that's super important. But man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, bruh. For real. We got a strong one in, y'all. We got a strong one in. You feel me? A nice hour and 7. You know? Man. Bruh, success ain't random. Neither are you. Neither are you. Yo, let's tie this up in a nice little bow form. People. Look. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you got to understand. In order for you to level up, for you to get to that point, that goal where you can call yourself not a novice, an expert, the best in your craft, a leader in your space, you got to go through the process. In that process, you're going to be pushed, you're going to be kicked, you're going to go through all kind of obstacles. It's called the grind for a reason, man. In that point in time, your why becomes real strong, the vision becomes clearer, and those steps become so pronounced, you know exactly what to do. The reason why this is so important is because there's gonna be someone that comes behind you that wants to do the same thing that you wanna do, and you have the tools to lead them in the right direction. So, with that, I leave you with this, man. Chase your goals relentlessly and do not compromise. You know what I'm saying? I saw something pretty cool today, and I think it applies to everybody. Everybody has ideas, but I want you to understand some ideas are rented. It's what you're going to do with those ideas that define if they're really for you. So let's go out and let's kill it. Man, drop a bomb. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Success Ain't Random Podcast. I'm your boy, V-Nell J. I thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all go check out these brothers right here, man. They dropping some good content. Supa Dre, I'm coming to you. Let them know where they can find you. Let's go.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me now?
We can hear you, bro. We can hear you.
Oh, let's go, man. Look, real quick, man. Appreciate you, Vanilla, for having me on, man. BBQ Talk Dre, man. You lit, man. Find the Supa Dre Podcast any and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Supa Dre Podcast. Everywhere. We here to be our super self. Let's get it.
All right. BBQ Talk Dre, I'm coming to you, my man. Let's go.
All right. Well, Vanilla, I definitely want to thank you for having me on the forum, as well as Supa Dre. Thank you for joining us both. I want to thank you both for existing at Ignite World's Most Live and this podcast page. You can find our podcast on Facebook, Instagram, also media platforms. It's going to be BBQ Talk as well as Apple Spotify or at BBQTalkPodcast.com.
Let's go, man. Yo, as always, man, I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for rocking with me, and you already know what we here to do. Success ain't random. We turn talkers into doers, and we bring average to extraordinary. If that is you, you was in the right place, man. This is the forum. Until next time, be blessed. Don't stress. You already know the rest, man. And we out.
We reap what we sowing. To be peaceful, you gotta know violence. Keep it low, please don't cause a commotion. My response to the Levian ruins, and really not sure that's your type of promotion. We up early on road, rolling. Hog the lane in our bar, we ain't bowling. In 16, I hopped off in the Ford. Headed to Texas, not sure where I'm going. I'm the coldest on earth, bring the wind just to out them Levi's. They see my devotion.